Welcome to SuQuietSleep. I'm so glad you are here. Before we begin our tonight's story, find a comfortable position. Let your body settle into the surface beneath you. Your shoulders can soften now. If there is any tension in your jaw, let it release. Soften the small muscles around your eyes and brow. Let your hands rest gently and easily. If your eyes are not already closed, allow them to close now. Take a slow breath in through your nose, filling your lungs, and breathe out through your mouth. And again, breathe in and breathe out. Let your shoulders drop a little more and allow your whole body to grow heavier and supported. With each slow breath, the sounds of your day begin to fade slowly into the background. In their place, a gentle mist begins to rise. A quiet bridge between now and then. And as tonight's story begins, imagine yourself stepping lightly through the mist, leaving the present behind and drifting into another time. A slower, quieter world. Tonight, we step quietly into a small noodle shop in a walled ward just north of the West Market in Chang'an, where deep winter snow has been falling through the night, and a young shop owner wakes before first light to begin the unhurried work of a new day. The hour is the deepest of the night. Darkness is fully settled. The cold has had many hours to enter every surface. Stone, timber, tile, and plaster. And it rests there now, completely at rest. Snow has been falling since before midnight. In the ward just north of the West Market, the stone lane is covered. No cart has yet passed. No footstep has broken the unbroken layer of white. The compound walls carry a long, even weight of snow along every ridge and edge. The roof tiles, gray in every other season, lying buried beneath a continuous gentle accumulation. Their edges soften, their lines gone. The city is completely silent. Not the silence of rain, which has a voice of its own, a continuous layered sound that fills the dark hours with its presence. Snow is a different silence. Snow removes sound. It absorbs and quietly holds whatever small noises might otherwise trouble. And what remains is a stillness more complete than any other kind. The walled gates are sealed. The watchman has long since completed his round and returned to shelter. No lamp burns in the lane. No bell has sounded for some time. None will sound for some time yet. Chang'an lies beneath its snow. She wakes before the light. The room is dark. A complete, full dark, broken only by the paper window. A faint gray square against the wall, where the wild paper lets through the bare paleness of snow outside. No light exactly, only a gray suggestion. The air in the room is cold. Not the sharp, startling cold of a door suddenly opened, but something older and more settled. The cold of a room that has been undisturbed through many hours of winter night. It rests against the surfaces of things evenly, pressing at no single point, simply present, thoroughly. She lies still beneath the quilt for a moment. The quiet beyond the room is the quiet of snow. No tap, no drip, no thin voice of rain threading through the roofing tiles. Only a deep, soft nothingness. The absence of sound that deep snow makes, unlike any other quiet. She breathes once again. She sits up slowly and draws the quilt aside. The air meets her skin. Cool. She gathers the first rope around her shoulders. Padded close. Softened through many winters. Its cotton quilting, dense and familiar, and sits for a long moment at the edge of the low bed. At its head, the celadon headrest rests where she left it. The painted willow branch along its face is barely visible in the pale gray from the window. Her hands rest loosely together in her lap. She does not begin the day yet. Quietly, without voice, the familiar words pass through her. A soft, internal recitation, steady and hurried. Not spoken, only present, then gone. She bows her head slightly. The moment settles, leaving a quiet stillness before the day begins. She dressed then, layer by layer. The inner linen garment first, the padded robe next, the outer robe last. Darker, heavier, its collar drawn close. She ties the sash. Her fingers know the motion without needing the light. She lifts the water jar and pours a small measure into the ceramic pot, setting it briefly over the faint warmth still holding in the room stove ash. Not enough to boil, only enough to take the night's cold from the water. She waits. A short moment, then pours. Warm, not hot. She drinks slowly. She lights the lamp. The flame rises slowly, settles and holds. A steady amber point. She lifted from its stand and slid the door open. The corridor received her. Cold air arrives immediately, carrying the clean mineral, nothing of deep snow. Barely a scent at all. Something that is more absence than presence. She steps into the covered corridor and draws her outer robe collar closer. The courtyard lies open before her. It has accumulated through the night. The stone flags are covered completely. An unbroken continuous white. Their edges gone invisible beneath a depth that has been building for hours. The compound walls carry thick ridges along their tops. The roof ridge above the kitchen is buried at an even depth. Each tile slide rounded into its neighbor. All corners soften. The stone basin at the courtyard center filled nearly to the rim with snow. The water beneath invisible. A smooth white surface where rain rings once formed and dissolved. The bushes along the wall are bowed under the weight of it. Its bare winter stems, heavily loaded with snow, bent and patient. In the far corner, the bamboo stands dark against white. Each stalk leaning slightly, burdened, but upright still. Its narrow leaves carrying thin ridges of snow along their edges. Beside it, the plum tree. Its branches, fine and bare in structure, and along them, at intervals, small blossom, pale, nearly white themselves against the surrounding whiteness, open in the cold, and hurried. Her breath is visible now. A faint cloud forming at her lips and dissolving slowly in the lamp's amber light. She does not move. She turns from the courtyard and carries the lamp along the covered corridor towards the kitchen. At the kitchen door, she lifts the latch and slides it open. The air changes immediately. Not warm yet. The stove has been cold since last night, but enclosed. The kitchen holds itself apart from the outer cold. Its wall and floor retaining some memory of heat that the open courtyard does not have. The scent remains. Yesterday broth under its lid. Ginger. Faint charcoal ash. Wheat. And beneath all of it, the breath of the resting dough. The warm yeast smell of grain resting and quietly walking through the night. She steps inside, set the lamp on the high wooden shelf above the prep table. Amber light falls across the familiar space. The iron wok resting on the stove rim. The ladles hanging on their wall pegs. The ceramic storage jars along the shelf. The prep table surface clean and waiting. The covered door in its place at the rear wall. The linen square still laid across it. Everything as she left it. Everything in its place, waiting. She crouches before the clay stove. The iron cover lifts off and rests on one side. Inside, coal ash, pale gray, settled fine and undisturbed since the coals dimmed last night. She draws it out slowly with the small iron scraper, setting it aside. Then takes a brick of compressed charcoal from beside the stove, dry and dense, its edges rough, its surface the dusty gray of unlit charcoal. She breaks it carefully into pieces and arranges them in the stove. A twist of paper beneath. She opens the small fire amber tube beside the stove. A breath, gentle, steady. Within, a dull red begins to glow, waking from its sleep, then brightens. She tips it to the paper. A small flame at the edge of the paper, small and deliberate. She leans forward very gently and breathes lightly over it. The flame rises to the charcoal. She does not touch anything, does not move the pieces or adjust the arrangement. Simply watch. For a long moment, nothing. Only the faint smell of smoke and the lamp's steady light across the stove edge. Then a line of orange appears at the charcoal's lower rim. Not a flame, only warmth becoming visible. A glow small and steady, beginning at the place where the paper's last heat has reached. She watched it spread and hurried A low crackle, breathed, soft, and then the glow deepens and holds. The first warmth begins to move into the air above the stove. She lifts the cover from the broth pot. The scent rises at once, dense and concentrated. The depth of yesterday's service. Ginger aroma leads first, as it always does. Beneath it, wheat. The deep savor of long-cooked broth. A low sweetness from the residual warmth, still held at the pot's base. She covers it again and settles it over the stove. The charcoal is not yet at full heat. There is no hurry. She stands quietly beside it and waits. The first sign comes not from the pot, but from the stove itself. The glow that was a line has become a shape. A steady low red at the stove's center. Not yet strong, but present and growing with its own patience. Then the faintest sound from below the pot base. Clay warming slowly. Speaking in that quiet way clay speaks when heat first arrives into it. A brief whisper. Almost nothing. Then still. Then again. A thread of steam lifts from the edge of the lid, barely visible in the lamp's light. Only the slightest wavering in the air just above the clay surface. No steam yet. Only the first breath of yesterday's broth returning to itself. There, then gone. Then there again, a little stronger. The scent of ginger rising slowly through the cold kitchen air. Warmth beginning. She moves to the dough bowl. She draws back the linen square. The dough has rested through the night. Through all those cold and disturbed hours. And it holds its form densely now. Settled and cold. Its surface slightly firm when the night air has touched it through the linen. She pressed 2 fingers gently into the surface. Cool, firm, ready. She leans forward and breathes in slowly. Wheat and faint fermentation. the earthy, quietly sweet smell of grain that has had a full night to become something more patient and more capable than it was at closing time. Something that has been walking in the silence, becoming itself. She draws a portion from the bowl and sets it on the prep board. Then begins. Her palm pressing into the dough, the heel of each hand rolling forward, her weight moving into the motion. She folds it, turns it a quarter, press again. At first, the dough resists, cold and close grain, giving only a little. She does not force it. She continues. Fold, press, and turn. Gradually, the resistance begins to ease. Warmth moves from her hands into the dough. The surface becomes slightly softer. Each fold yields a little more than the last. The elasticity begins to return. That particular quality of well-worked dough, alive and structured, yielding and holding at once. Patient. The dough will be ready. The broth is simmering now. Not a full boil, only that quiet simmer at the pot's inner surface. Small bubbles rising from the base and dissolving unhurried before they reach the top. The steam above the lid is no longer intermittent. It rises continuously now. A slender, visible column moving upward through the cold kitchen air, catching the amber lamp's light at its edge. She tastes the fast potion. Her hands know this. Take a piece from the dough, feel its weight, tear it into a flat strip. The width her hands have known through many mornings of this motion, and lower it into the broth below. A brief, soft sound as it enters the liquid. Then, quiet. She tastes another, drops it. Steam rises past her wrist. As her hands continue their work, her attention drifts alongside the tiles without leaving it. The snow. She knows, without yet going to the front door, what she will find when she does. the same white surface on the stone paving. More depth on the tiles than most mornings hold. The quiet of Chang'an city still caught under significant snowfall. Fewer customers today. She thinks about this without an ease. Those who come, those who make the effort across the lane, through the cold, to push open her door, they will want something more than an ordinary bowl. A piece of lamb meat. She has that from yesterday, well kept in the red crock. She could add it through the broth before service. Let the depth of it carry the ginger farther. Thicken the warmth. A heartier bowl for whoever comes through the snow. The thought settles itself. Noted, decided. She returns to the door. Her hands tear. The noodle strips fall. Steam rises through the cold kitchen air. The kitchen is warm now. Not the full warmth of a shop at service. Only the first warmth, the warmth of a stove that has been burning for an hour. At floor level, cold still lingers in the stone. Higher, the air is warmer. Steam from the broth lifts and gathers softly near the ceiling. She wipes her hands on the cloth beside the basin. She carries the lamp through the kitchen partition, along the covered corridor, and into the front hall. The hall receives her quietly. She sets the lamp on the counter. Its amber light reaches across the worn lacquer surfaces of the 4 tables. The red lacquer columns at the hall's corner holding their deep plum red. At the far wall, her father's calligraphy holds steady in the lamp's outer reach. The front hall is still and dark. She walks to the front door. She rests her hands on the iron latch. The door is still closed. Beyond it, nothing. No voices. No cartwheels. No footstep in the lane. Only snow. That particular dense silence of it, pressing gently from the other side. She stands there for a long moment, not yet opening it. Steam from the kitchen moves into the hall behind her, carrying ginger and broth, filling the cold air slowly from within. Snow on the tiles above, steam rising below. The day is near. She breathes, soft and still. Outside, the world holds its silence. Inside, the broth continues. Steam rises, steady and patient. And so, the small noodle shop wakes quietly into its winter morning. The stove burning slowly in the kitchen. The broth returning slowly to life. Steam rising in the cold air above the prep table. While the ward just north of the West Market lies covered in its deep unbroken snow. And the first grey light begins at last to find the edges of the tiled roofline above, touching the white day gently, turning the ridge pale with the approaching day. The world we visited tonight is quiet now, and you are here again, in the comfort of your room. Your mind can rest. Your body can relax. If you are already drifting into sleep, allow yourself to sink deeper. If you are still awake, simply listen to the quiet. Thank you for joining me at SuQuietSleep. I'll be here again soon to share another peaceful moment in time. But for now, sleep well. Good night.